Well, I've had a Honda 2200 generator, little inverter suitcase one for 4 years now. Managed to pick another one up this winter, like companion. So I wanted to make the most little modular generator system that I could use. I need just single suitcases up at the property, or to run my recreational trailer, or to do some projects around the yard here where I need to run the saws. So I fired up this box here this year. So I plug into that 30 amp sub panel, and then I built this little frame for the pair of them so I can run extended use with the two Hondas working together, or I can grab one or the other, do whatever I need to do with them, throw them back in the frame, or as you can see, and just use them sitting on the deck just like it is, but they'll be in the garage here. I'll show you this project now. Just put a couple hours on this setup for the first time. So here's my outlet 30 amp setup on two 2200s. See, that's my newest one. She's only got 2.2 hours on it. So we just put another 2 hours on it. We had a planned hydro outage, so I tested it out. So as you can see, we can carry them like a suitcase weight, and I can run a little 6-foot green cord there. Or I'll transfer them over here to my setup I just built. So basically, I got 2 fuel caps there, 2 fuel tanks, and a 40-foot cord, I believe it is, so I can stretch from there to the garage where it's going to be sitting, and then just crack the door, point the exhaust out. You won't have to wheel it, especially in the wintertime with the snow and all that stuff. Just run the cord across into there, and we'll have the essentials to the house. So we're in the basement figuring out the fuel system for the generator project here. And I made up this line. I went to a 12-gallon marine tank, boat tank. I have 2 in my boat. I pulled one out to run the generators. But I was always fighting maintaining a prime. And I ended up having to just use the primer ball to fill the generator tank, the onboard tank, back up, so it wouldn't self-draw. I'm not sure if it was because of this. So this was a fairly pricey kit off of Amazon, but this fitting didn't get flared enough. It's supposed to sit on there and not come off, similar to that guy. So it's supposed to be able to swivel but not fall off. This one pops right off. And it came with these billet caps. As you can see, the gasket is all cut. The other one did the same. So that's it. So I was trying to make sure they were real tight, and the top of the Hondas ended up cutting the gaskets. And I was still battling it siphoning out of a tank. So that's why I'm going gravity feed this time. So bought another kit, and it came with straight bungs, these guys, straight into it. And I stole the 90 off of this kit, just like this one. This one had nice quick connect fittings, and that one go in here, which I might cut this all apart and maintain the 90 and the quick fittings on the new silver caps that have good gaskets. These gaskets are the wrong size to fit these caps, so I used 2 new silver ones, the 90 and the quick fitting, and then I'll cut off however length of hose I need, and I have good reusable fittings. I'm going to put inline filters, and I'll go from the gravity fed fuel tanks down to these on top of the generator. Anyway, it was a bummer that this system off of Amazon didn't work all because of a bad fitting, and I don't have a tool to fix that. And of course, they're all the non-reusable fuel clamps, so I'll leave that one clamped on there. I want to be able to maintain these quick connect couplers, so then you can unsnap quickly and thread off the fuel cap to go back to a normal Honda cap when they're not in the cart. So I just got an adapter to go from the 4-prong in the house to the 3-prong on the Honda. The stock Honda fuel caps. Just unthread those. Shut the fuel off. I just ran them dry. And just these fuel caps. Thread on. Quick connect hose. So there's a little screen in these Amazon fuel tanks, and then I added inline fuel filters. So now, my little 6-foot cord, and then I got my 40-foot cord hanging off the back there. Just got pulled up handles. So I forget what the Hondas have on them already, but then you got another 5 gallons flowing into each. I think I worked out the math a while ago because this project's taking me a little bit. It's like 32 hours it should run the house. It's a pretty neat setup. Instead of, I wasn't even going to make 8 hours through the night if the furnace kept coming on just with the Hondas. Anyway, we used the extruded aluminum, and it was adult Lego, very expensive adult Lego, but it was pretty neat working that all out. It was pretty tricky to get the plywood on and where the nuts that slide in the track where they were going to sit, but I just marked it all out and hot glued them in place. And if they needed a little bit of tweaking afterwards because the hole wasn't lining up, I would just take the heat gun to that one nut and it would soften up the glue, and then I could steer it left or right. Anyway, it's a little tricky getting this one in just because the tires are so big, but they were what I had, and they're actually really nice to roll across the ground as opposed to a smaller little tire. But for the most part, it's just going to live in the garage and just pull in front of the man door and make sure the exhaust is facing out and run the cords to that plug. But so they're 50 pounds each. What do you like, 1.8 liter or 1.8 pounds per liter of gasoline, something like that. So you're another nearly 40 pounds in each one of those. So you're a couple 100 pounds with the frame and all that. They're not full right now, they're still empty, but just with the 110 pounds that it is, it rolls just fine. Anyway, we're going to put this in the garage. I'm not going to fill these up until I absolutely need it, and won't have to worry about them coming up. But yeah, that was this year's winter project. While the little guy was napping. Just had to do an emergency runs for some more fuel. Ontario's getting smoked with an ice storm for 3 days. We're halfway through it now. I only had enough fuel for like 30 hours in the generators. But I've been on the road. Had to go past quite a few gas stations to get to one that would had power. It was good to go. Anyway, we got 120 liters in cans in the back of the truck. And this is what most of the roads have been like. Hundreds of trees on the roads in my travels, and thousands when you're looking at people's yards. these caps didn't work either with vibration, and an aftermarket Amazon company making them. I'm going to the plastic threads on the Hondas. They vibrate loose and actually don't really bite the last thread. If I continue to use those, I'm gonna wear out the tops of the tanks. So unfortunately, my extended range didn't work, and I was having some difficulty with trying to figure out my well pump, but I got that figured out, and I thought maybe it was the long cord. So I set up just this for the past couple nights, but the temperature's starting to warm up. I got trees down everywhere. The yard looks pretty clean because I don't have a lot of trees in it, but the forest is a very dangerous place to be. Anyway, we got a Pelican lid on just the two Hondas up there with just a 6-foot cord. It's just insane. Anyway, my next step is probably to get 2 genuine Honda fuel caps and take the vent cap off of them and either epoxy in or drill and tap or whatever I come up with to get the bungs in a Honda plastic cap to work with those. 2 sets of Amazon purchases obviously aren't going to work. Anyway, we're getting about, the companion generator keeps running out of fuel quite a bit before my original one, so I'm not sure why it is harder on fuel. We're getting quite a few hours on them now. I got another 120 liters of fuel, and it doesn't look like we're gonna have hydro anytime soon. We've been sitting under the deck, the covered porch, and just, without exaggerating, probably every 30 seconds a significant tree limb crashes down in the forest around us, and I can't even get out the laneway right now. It's not safe to be underneath all the ice. So it's supposed to warm up to 12 degrees Celsius through the night and continue raining, so hopefully all the ice is out of the forest. I'll be able to fire up the tractor first thing in the morning and go and shove out the laneway, the, I don't know what that is, 600 meters of road that's 100% blocked right now. I got out this morning before the majority of the trees fell and got the fuel, but I was still driving down the center of the road zigzagging treetops on major county roads and highways too. But all these back roads like I'm on, they're not going to be cleaned up for a while. Well, we made it out the backside of the ice storm. Had to switch over to my dad's John Deere. That's 8 kilowatt, but it's 220. So my well pump's 220. That was an oversight on my part. I was all concerned about the amps and set up my parallel generators, my Hondas. But that's 30 amps at 120. So I had everything but water, and after day 2, 3, I ran down and borrowed his generator so I could have running water. So might try to figure something out in the future, or if Dad doesn't mind that one sitting here. He's got the big full farm capacity now with the propane one. We made it out the backside of the storm. The trails are a mess. The yard is a mess. I have 1 kilometer trail here at the house, and it all needs to be cut open again. So we'll have a bit of fun once the ground dries up and I can get the tractor in there. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.